I don't think we're going to get to the visa thing tonight because I want to talk about this. Listen,
yeah.
I think it's important to call out my own side as well when they do things wrong, right? Our side is always called fascists by the left. And I've always said, well, I point to one example. Well, now we have an example to point to. Want to talk about this?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you
The
want me to do it?
No, I can do it.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The Pentagon dropped a bomb this week, not overseas, not on our enemies.
Well, here's the thing is they've been talking about it, but now they're finally put it into action.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, if you're a journalist, an American journalist covering the Department of Defense, you now have to sign a loyalty pledge, not to America, not to the Constitution, a loyalty pledge to the Pentagon. You have to sign on the dotted line promising that you won't report a single thing unless it's pre-approved by the Pentagon brass. And
remember the Ministry of Disinformation?
yes. Yeah. And we're not talking about classified secrets here. We're not talking about troop movements or the next the next target that we're going to hit that your chief of staff can call up China and give them a warning. This policy covers unclassified information too. Stuff that should be fair game in any free society now has to go through a government permission slip. And if you refuse to sign, you're kicked out. If you publish anything without approval, your credentials will be revoked. They're basically saying report what we want you to report or don't report at all. That is propaganda. That is fascism. And we're handing that narrative, Danielle, on a platter to the left.
Yeah.
And there is not a conservative in this country that should tolerate this policy. We're effectively telling every journalist that you have to become a Ed Snowden or a the one you hate. Well, you don't like Ed Snowden either, but the one that you hate that was holed up in the UK in the embassy. Yeah, Julian Assange.
Stinky Assange.
We're effectively telling every American journalist, including us, right? We report news. If I wanted to report on the Pentagon and didn't sign their little pledge, guess what? Then I'm in violation. They also have to agree to being escorted around the Pentagon. All right, listen, it's probably the most important building on the face of the planet other than the White House. I don't necessarily have a problem with the media being isolated to certain areas or being escorted to other areas if they need to go there. But that hasn't been the way it's been done up until now. And I'll give Pete Hegseth some leeway here. You're now what is it now? The Secretary of War?
Secretary of War, yeah.
He's now the Secretary of War. He gets to make the rules, I suppose. But it does seem like these rules are being imposed after they screw up. After they have signal chats where a journalist happens to be in the signal chat. You don't combat that by putting a leash on a free press.
There have been other significant leaks. Other than, that signal chat, that was a faff. I still think there was more to that than what we know. But there were other significant leaks of, remember, they cleaned house, went through and fired, some information got out and then went through and fired a whole bunch of folks up under, folks that Hegseth brought in with him, went through and just leveled them.
Sure.
So, and I'm not defending. I'm not saying that's.
Even the chairman of the Joint Chiefs was leaking information. Remember?
Yep.
General Milley. Yep. He was leaking to the Chinese.
Right.
Look, leaks are a fact of life. This is not how you deal with leaks by stifling a free press. That is a purely that is the move of a fascist regime. And again, once again, I should be able to point to the left and say, that's not us. We don't do this. They need to back off of this policy immediately. This is not how a constitutional republic should be governed. It is absolutely horrifying to me, because what's next? All right, right now it's our Department of War. Who's next? Homeland Security? Are we going to tolerate them implementing a rule like this? The Department of Justice as a whole? What if the entirety of the DOJ said, you know what? You can't report any news unless we approve it. That's state-owned media. If the White House did this, what would we say? And not even now, but under a future president who doesn't necessarily share our value. Do we tolerate it then? This is horrific, and every conservative, every Republican should be speaking up and speaking out against this.
Well, you know, of course I agree with you, but let's not get out over our skis on this, because when you talk about like a government run by the other side doing this, they don't have to, because the media is in their pocket. So the media that, and I'm not defending what Pete Hegseth is doing, but you know, the media that he says is trying to sabotage the president's agenda is the media that was in the pocket of the left and is still in the pocket of the left.
But that's so. I hear what you're saying, but it's not necessarily true. Julian Assange was locked up for reporting news while Barack Obama was president.
Well, that was 20 years ago.
I understand that was 20
years ago.
I understand it was 15, 20 years ago.
Let's talk about the media that we're dealing with today. Let's talk about today's media. Let's talk about like today's mainstream.
I mean,
and again, I'm not
WikiLeaks is still a thing.
I'm not defending what Hegseth is doing. I'm just saying that other than your fucking Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, the majority of the mainstream media, and you know it as well as I do, this is why fucking what's his name got away with saying that MAGA killed Charlie Kirk, because the mainstream media had been saying it, and literally probably more than 80% of the general public already believed it, because the mainstream media had been saying it, because that media is in the pocket of the left. So don't act like, and again, I'm not trying to defend what Hegseth is saying, but you know, don't act like this is a threat if the left gets back into power. The threat if the left gets back into power is that they own the media, which, oh, hang on.
I understand what you're saying, but people like
that's already the threat,
right? But there are independents like Breitbart and the Daily Wire that have people that report on that stuff, that cover that stuff. Look, I don't want to see anyone get shut out. I don't care if it's MSNBC.
I agree, and I'm not defending what Hegseth is doing. I'm just saying, don't act like, you know, I
understand. Yeah, of course the legacy media runs cover for the left. Of course they do. I fully, which is why it's even more important that we have more access, not less. Right? That it needs to be opened up to all media. Right? That you shouldn't have to apply to the White House for a media badge. You should be able to go in and report the damn news. We don't even allow, and I understand the logistics and the security risks there, and obviously they have to have certain procedures in place. But this doesn't just affect the legacy media. This really does affect independents. And again, I use Breitbart and Daily Wire as examples because those are two that I know who have boots on the ground in Washington. The Daily Wire's little girl, what's her name? Margaret Houlihan or something like that.
Mary Margaret Houlihan.
Mary Margaret Houlihan. Sorry. Yeah. I don't want her to have to to go beg the king to be able to report news. It's unacceptable in America.
I agree.
And it's a damn policy that's been rolled out under a Republican administration, and I'm horrified by it. I hate it. It's a really bad look. So really, I agree with all the points you've made. Don't get me wrong, but
well, and
this is bad for all
I've
Americans.
Literally nothing to say about it. I mean, I wish I had some defense for it. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And you know how I love Pete Hegseth, and it is horrifying. And he was on Fox News for years.
Right. And he should know that this is a really bad idea. But, you know, it is what it is. I hope they realize the error of their ways.
I can't help but think, and not defending, but I can't help but think that it is a desperation move to stem the leaks coming out of.
Yeah, I guarantee you that's what it is.
Yeah, not defending at all. 0% defending. But you know, they threatened, and the leaks kept coming, so then they did it.
Yeah, remarkably un-American, but
yes,
they have an opportunity to walk it back. And I seriously, I would say to every Republican, every conservative in America, I would say start writing your letters and demand that they walk it back.
Speaking of this, I haven't heard nearly enough people talking about this. Have you? Have I just missed it?
No, I really haven't either.
Like, this is true. I mean,
this is literally the fascism that the left have been screaming about, but they're so busy trying to cover their asses over leftist violence.
Yes.
That this one that they've ignored the actual fascism.
Like, I was waiting for them to get wind of. The only places I've seen talk about this are conservative media.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard Ben Shapiro talk about it yet.
Yeah.
Although he was off for 2 days for the holiday, but
yeah. And listen, it's only fair. We called out Pam Bondi when she was talking about hate speech, because it's absolute bollocks.
Right.
Shut the hell up about hate speech. It's not a thing. And I'll call out Pete Hegseth when he does something dumb, and this is dumb.
Yeah.
This is dumb.
This is dumb.
So yeah, walk it back. Let's walk that back before.
Yeah. Roll it back before too many people get wind of it.
Yes.
Settle down.
Yeah. And let's from now on, let's stick to our conservative principles. Let's not devolve into what the left have become, because to me, this is exactly the same as Joe Biden's administration having backdoors into Facebook and YouTube and telling them what they can allow on their platforms.
Right.
No different.